subscribe to my channel for more videos over here. Thanks for being here. Give this video a thumbs up if you're continuing to enjoy all of my posting. I asked a huge group of married women, what is one sentence you would go back and tell yourself when you were single? I want to read you their responses. I did not say, what would you tell single women? I didn't say what advice you would give single women. I said, what for your specific life would you want to tell yourself? These were the great women at Blessed Is She, and I'm so grateful for their responses. Here we go. Give yourself grace when you make a mistake. Trust your gut. Be very clear about your boundaries, physical, spiritual, practical, because if you are having trouble articulating what those are, it's hard for even a godly, sensitive man to guess at what those might be and respect them. So if you're confused about them, he'll be more confused. This is a good one that she wanted to tell herself this. He's going to find out that you poop sooner or later. Your future self will, in fact, regret bad choices. Be smart. Know that over the years, the friendships and people you are close to will change. Those best friends forever who you think will be with you forever probably won't be. And that's okay because others are going to step up and take their place. Marry your best friend, someone you share so much in common with, and faith being one of those things will make everything easier. If he's making you feel angry and insane, he's not the one. When you meet your match, he'll bring you a sense of peace. Sure, he may challenge you, but you will laugh far more than you'll frown. Enjoy your single nights out and have no expectations of looking for Mr. Right. Just be present with your friends. Imagine her like taking her own hands to be like, be present with your friends right now, please. Any issues you have now will only be magnified after marriage. The right man will not make you feel like you have to earn his love. A good man will give you love freely and unconditionally. Consider learning how to cut a child's hair before you have one. This one's a little bit longer. Place all those fears, all those worries, all your grieving about what you might be leaving behind if you let it go. Place them at the foot of the cross because he is listening and has a plan for you so infinitely more grand and wonderful than what you imagined. She went on to share a snippet of her story. I was deeply in love with my childhood best friend, so much so it physically ached. It was not entirely reciprocal, only to an extent, but not enough. And that made it worse because I couldn't let go of the hope that it would work out. I was terrified to date my husband because it meant letting go of the past. If you have an opportunity to live alone, do it. You learn a lot about yourself in moments of solitude, and you learn a lot of responsibility when the functioning of a household relies solely on you. Figure out your finances, travel, go on retreats, and read the books. Marriage and parenting is amazing, but during the hard years of babies and toddlers, you will not have as much time or energy for those things. Be spontaneous and have adventures. Pack them in before you have kids. It's not impossible when you're going to have little kids, but it is so much harder when they depend on routine and stability. Don't ignore red flags because you think you're not going to find anyone else. You are enough. Spend your time in college making friends with people rather than trying to find a boyfriend. I imagine her going to her dorm and telling herself this. One day you will be one flesh with your husband through the holy covenant of marriage. Don't do something in your carefree single years that you won't be comfortable confessing to your soulmate. Go to counseling and don't be afraid to ask him to go to and to go with you. Men who aren't ready to take steps to heal emotionally from childhood trauma are not ready to be in relationships, even if they think they are. That goes both ways, certainly. Loving someone who needs therapy and or Jesus is not enough and will never be enough. They still will need therapy and Jesus. Believe your family and friends when they tell you he is toxic or abusive. Date him for at least 1 year. You will experience how he handles holidays and family at holidays. Sounds like there's some deeper stuff to that. It's very an interesting thing to go back and tell yourself. Have as many girls' nights as possible and just enjoy your life. The best thing you can do for a future happy and healthy marriage and family is strive for holiness now. Live your life, not acting like you're waiting for your life to begin. Travel, 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 volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. Visit and do things with your family often. Don't build up a credit card balance. It's not simple to pay off once you have a job. Allow God to forgive you. Don't care about what you look like while you try new things. If you look silly, who cares? Try new things and new experiences and don't care what you look like, and learn how to laugh at yourself. Take lots of photos. Don't always be the photographer. Suck it up, even if you don't look your best, and get in photos. I imagine she wishes she had more photos of herself in her life. Take the time to find activities and hobbies you enjoy and not ones that you think will make you more popular or ones you think will help you get a man or more friends. Intentionally love on your parents before your new family becomes your priority. This one is deep and real. If your brain screams, don't do it, when you're standing at the altar about to say your vows, there's probably a good reason why, and you should probably cut your losses and run. Keep focusing on fixing your issues by therapy, prayer, fasting, etc. Living in peace will come more naturally, and your future husband and children will thank you. You are so loved. You will have encountered immense brokenness and struggle that gives you opportunity to come closer to Christ on the cross. Embrace your brokenness without letting it become your identity. Find your identity in Christ and not your academics and your career, so that when you become a wife and mother and the career is put on hold, you already will know who you are. Take the darn trip. She said the other word, but I'm going to say darn. Take the darn trip. Learn to be alone well, because you'll never have a healthy, fulfilling relationship with someone else if you don't have one with yourself. Also, it's okay to hope that you won't be alone forever, and knowing what it's like to be alone will make you that much more grateful for your husband when he comes along. Don't rule him out, even if you don't think he's cute at first. If you know it's wrong, get out of the relationship. This is a long one, but it's good. Know yourself and know how to communicate it appropriately. Not gentle knowing, but deeply know yourself. How do you like your eggs? Not your parents, your siblings, but you. Where do you feel most connected to God? What makes you feel safe, calm, angry? Be on the lookout for regrets and why you regret it. Once you know yourself, you will be able to work on appropriately communicating. You can tell your boss, family, spouse, etc. what you need versus want, and then it falls on the other party to respond appropriately if they are able to. It's okay that you aren't dating in high school, she said. I used to be so jealous of everyone dating when I was in high school, but looking back now, I'm glad I didn't. Don't work up to your due date because your boss isn't worth it and you won't be working there again. Forget what it's supposed to look like. Set boundaries with in-laws and your own parents right away. Don't forget to change the oil in your car and know how to pump gas, put air in your tires, and fill your windshield washer fluid. Have emergency roadside assistance for everything else. He is not worth it. No matter who he is or what it is, if it makes you feel compromised in any way, physically, spiritually, or mentally, he is not worth it. Some of the things you hated about being single, you will deeply miss when you are married. Do not change your plans for a man. Imagine herself going back to tell herself this whole story. I broke up with a man I thought I was going to marry because the relationship would have made doing mission work, which it seems was her plan, extremely difficult. It took a lot because I truly saw myself with him for life and had prayed for so long about dating him. I was devastated that God would want me to break up with him. I broke up with him nearly 5 years ago, and I will marry that same man in 136 days. God has a plan, and if he is meant to be there in your life, he will come back around. Don't expect your spouse to change after you marry him. I got a bit caught up in the mentality that I was a good influence on my husband-to-be. Love him for who he is. Enjoy being in charge of your own choices about your plans and your life without having to balance it with another person's. This is another deep one and serious one, but this is what she shared. If the guy you are dating argues with you and repeatedly makes you so angry you are willing to walk out of the car and walk home, do not marry him. Get out of the relationship. Even if he begs you to forgive him, run and don't look back, because he will not change and will make your life miserable. Follow the peace, the deep down peace, not your emotions. They are fleeting and untrustworthy. Don't neglect your friend for the sake of the man you're dating. We talked about that in a recent video. If you break up, you will have no friends and no man. Preach. Stop looking at every guy as potential soulmate material. It's a waste of your time. When the time comes, you are not going to need to be looking so intently, and there will be an ease and peace in your mind. Listen to that. Now, this was my favorite one. Just because others are finding their way doesn't mean you are lost. Godly relationships, friendship, family, or romantic, do not require you to desperately convince them to love you. Take college more seriously. Finish it. Don't stay with him because you don't want to hurt his feelings. Enjoy and receive your moments of silence, your alone time, your opportunities to have an uninterrupted hour with Jesus or a peaceful mass, and deeply appreciate the gifts of using the bathroom by yourself and your blissful nights of uninterrupted sleep. Strive to understand and work on the emotional healing and mental health component of becoming a mature person. Learn natural family planning when you are single for the knowledge of your own health and body, but when you marry, all that experience and self-knowledge is irreplaceable. Write down what you're thankful for throughout your marriage, big and small things, and refer back to the list, especially during challenging times. She said, I was looking back through an old prayer journal. So much was about what I didn't have, struggles and bitterness. I'm learning now to reflect on all the blessings and give thanks. So that's what they would say. Maybe one of those things struck you right in the heart. That's all for today. New video coming next week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.